So vertebrate integument. Now we are coming towards the vertebrate integument. So that starts from the frogs. So the layers of integuments in general, all those chordates have the similar structure of the integument, which is made up of three layers. The bottommost or the first layer in the integument, which is in connection with the body tissue, is called the hypodermis. On top of that is the main dermis layer, which is thicker in size, and then the epidermis, which is the top laminating or waterproofing layer. So in the diagram you see those yellowish cells are the skin cells or the hypodermal cells that connects the skin with the body tissues. Then the larger part, the light bluish one, that is the dermis part, which has the blood vessels in it, and on top of that is the light yellowish part, is the epidermis. Right, so we'll discuss this structure in detail now. Epidermis is composed of stratified squamous epithelium. So this is a term which is used to define the type of the cells which are arranged in different layers, but those layers have irregular structures and irregular shapes of the cells. So consider कि बहुत सारे cells को अगर pack कर दिया जाए all together in an irregular fashion, that will make a squamous epithelial layer, and putting different layers of those cells makes it a stratified layer. ठीक है, so इसका origin ectoderm से है. You know that those embryonic layers, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So ectoderm give rise to the cells of the epidermis, and epidermis does not have any blood vessels in it, right? So if they do not have blood vessels in it, but they are still alive, so they need nutrition, and that nutrition comes from the layer beneath it. ठीक है, अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं टॉप मोस्ट लेयर की, एपिडर्मिस की. एपिडर्मिस के नीचे डर्मिस की लेयर है. द डर्मिस हैज द फुल ब्लड वेसल्स, सो द न्यूट्रिएंट्स कम्स फ्रॉम द डर्मिस. And then it also contains the mucus and secretory cells which secrete mucus to lubricate the skin from the outside. Right? Epidermis is, as we said, that it is a stratified layer. So there are 5 layers of the different types of the cells which have different functions. So in the diagram on the right you see that actual cross section of the skin, where different cells are represented by different colors and different shapes. And the smaller inset of the diagram, you see these cells are defined as a basal layer from the bottom, the pinkish, dark pink or reddish cells. Then the pinkish cells has a spinous layer. Then on top of that, orangish are the granular cells. On top of that, the light orangish cells without any structures in it are called stratum corneum. Right, so there are 4 layers are shown in here, and the 5th one I will tell you why it is not shown here. So we define those layers first. Starting from the top, the stratum corneum is the layer of the dead cells. Right, so this is those cells which are present on top of the skin, जिसको हम touch कर सकते हैं, जो कि हमें नज़र आते हैं. They are stratum corneum cells, and they are basically dead cells, and they provide barrier against abrasion. They provide barrier against water loss, right? And ये वही cells हैं जो कि हमारे dandruff की सूरत में गिरते हैं स्किन के ऊपर से. Underneath that is the stratum lucidum, that are dying cells, and they are thickened and they provide cushioning, and they are not present always in every part of the skin. They are present only on those parts जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा abrasion होती है या pressure बहुत ज़्यादा रहता है. For example, on your toes, on your heels, on your palms of your hand, right, or any part which has continuous abrasion, तो वहाँ पे जब skin hardened हो जाती है, that is because of an extra layer called lucidum. Beneath that is the layer called granulosum. So that stratum granulosum is the mature cells that has the granules in it, and they are developing faster. Then stratum spinosum is the bottom, is the layer beneath it, that are maturing cells. They provide strength. They have spikes and spine-like structures within it, and they are closely packed and attached with each other to give extra strength. And then The bottommost layer in the epidermis is the stratum basale or stratum germinativum. So stratum germinativum is those cells which are uh, youngest cells and they are continuously dividing. Okay, and now I will explain that how the skin is developed, the epidermis is developed. The stratum basal cells start dividing quickly, और जैसे जैसे डिवाइड होते जाते हैं इनको नीचे से cells push करते जाते हैं outwards and they continue developing in their age and in their structure, और कुछ time के बाद they become stratum spinosum. Stratum spinosum को जब push करते जाते हैं underneath cells they become stratum granulosum. Stratum granulosum moves outside, becomes stratum lucidum because they are dying now, and finally stratum corneum, which is filled with keratin, a protein which provides the color in the skin and which provides the hardness of the skin. Okay? Keratin is the same protein which is present in our nails, in our hair. So epidermis give rise to the hair, feathers, claw, hooves, right? So all these derivatives like hair, feathers, claws and hooves, they are made up from epidermis, and cells in the basal part undergo frequent mitosis and they divide quickly and displace and upward. The cytoplasm is replaced by keratin. ठीक है, जैसे मैंने अभी एक्सप्लेन किया कि स्ट्रेटम बेसल से सेल क्विकली माइटोसिस से डिवाइड होते जाएंगे और न्यू सेल्स जो होंगे वो ओल्ड सेल्स को पुश करते जाएंगे आउटवर्ड्स, और वो अपनी एज के साथ साथ डिफरेंट लेयर्स का पार्ट बनते बनते एटलीस्ट दे मूव टू द एंड ऑफ द टॉप मोस्ट सरफेस ऑफ द स्किन, जहाँ तक जाते जाते उनके अंदर तमाम साइटोप्लाज्म खत्म हो जाएगा एंड दे विल बी फिल्ड विद अ स्पेशलाइज्ड प्रोटीन कॉल्ड केराटिन. Right, and this process of production of the keratin in the cell is called keratinization. So keratin is a tough protein that is light and flexible, and examples you can see in the nails, in the hair, in the scales in the reptiles or the feathers of the birds, their claws, their beaks, they're all made up of keratin.